What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? 2024, week 21, coming at you live from the 305 and also the 954. Did I mention the 407? My
We
big
in
brother
here.
Mick. It's your boy Vic on the microphone, South Florida Ave, week 21. What up, bro skis?
What up? It's the super edition episode of the show, bro. It's the super edition. We got to call it the super edition. You know what's on slate for this weekend. It's the big game. And we here for the big game, baby. It's time. What's happening? 49ers, Chiefs. Let's go.
Man,
Are
he
you
went ahead and
excited?
wrapped it up real quick. Hashtag super. What you said? What you called it again? Super.
It's a super week, baby. It's a
Super
super show.
edition.
It's a super show.
Super,
Yeah, baby.
super show, super edition. It is Super Bowl week, ladies and gentlemen. Am I excited? Yeah, I guess we could say that. I mean,
Yeah, man.
you know, should we jump right into it?
Yeah.
The reason I'm excited is because you know what, I got to get on here and apologize because the last time we linked up, we had to forcefully throw out some picks for the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship. We both went
Forcefully.
I think it was forcefully because it was real. I think it was a really tough picks that week. Hey, we've been doing this for 21 plus weeks at this point. I don't think any of them have been relatively tough. I think the last one was tough. We both went 1-1 in a head-to-head on those picks, but realistically, it was any given Sunday type moment, right? I mean,
Sure.
you had the Lions playing against the 49ers for their Super Bowl life and rights. San Francisco doing the same thing, defending at home. You had the Baltimore Ravens defending at home versus the doom 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 can't touch this Kansas City Chiefs. No matter who they got on their team, no matter what season it is, you just can't beat them. Are people just intimidated by the Chiefs now?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say that Baltimore was intimidated by them. I don't. I just don't think that they could do what they wanted to do against them. I think they was surprised about just how good Kansas City's defense was going to be. They really showed up to play in that game, and I know I was taken back a little bit. I was assuming Lamar Jackson would be able to do a little bit more. I did assume Kansas City was going to win the game, but man, Kansas City defense did a great job against Lamar in that game. Great job. So no, I think they were just surprised by the defense. I think they weren't intimidated. I think they were ready to play that game. Again, they were at home. What reason to be intimidated? But what's so funny about the word intimidation, you're bringing it up because that clip went around before the game started that went kind of viral when you had Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey just throwing my man Tucker's helmet and balls out the way because I guess he was on their side of the field before the game started. Now listen, Kelsey was well within his right to do so. If I was Travis Kelsey, that's exactly what I would have done. This is our side of the field right now, Mr. Tucker. Like you had all day to be out here, but right now, this is our side of the field. Move, get out of here. I don't know. It's gonna have to be in the bench someplace. So he should be happy. They just toss it aside. But I don't know. Was intimidation trying to be a factor before the game? The outcome of the game said maybe so. So I don't know. The real question is, can Kansas City do this to the 49ers come Super Bowl Sunday?
Well, I see that Lamar Jackson caught a lot of flack last week for being Lamar Jackson. Mate, I went ahead and recorded the game. I wanted to watch it late. And then I broke the cardinal rule, bro. I actually started picking up my phone and clicking on random clips of social media prior to me watching the entire game.
Yeah.
I got a pretty good idea of what was going based on the immediate troll that was happening for Lamar Jackson. And I don't even think the game was over yet. And I was like, wait a second. I mean, this can't be. Listen, man, the man caught a lot of flack. I don't know if it was rightfully so. I don't know if it was fair. I could say that I feel like Lamar Jackson played well. At the end of the day, Lamar Jackson he didn't do everything Lamar Jackson is capable of, but he wasn't the reason that they lost that game. Hey, at the end of the day, tough game, last game before the Super Bowl. Nerves are going crazy. All the pressure's on. You played well, just didn't play well enough. But at the same time, you didn't fumble in the end zone. You didn't get a pass interference call when they probably should have got a pass interference call. Got a crappy freaking personal foul
Mm,
for messing with Travis Kelce. And I mean,
mm,
listen, this is a high stakes ball game with
yeah,
athletes that are world class athletes. Can you give them a
yeah.
break? Can you give them a little bit of room to have a little bit of adrenaline flowing and just try to really do something that not too many NFL players have done, made it to a
Good
Super
point.
Bowl and potentially win it? Come on, man. And
Good
also,
point.
I mean, at the end of the day, there was one personal foul. It could go either way. Hey, it was a great smart play. It's 1st and 5. We're down. We got to get off offside penalty. We got the offsides penalty, but we got a personal foul for hitting the guy too hard as well. Man, come on, man. I get it, referees, but we always
Yeah,
say, and everybody in football says, we never want the referees to dictate
decide
the
the game.
outcome of the game.
Sure.
Can you give them a little grace in those scenarios? All that being said, the Ravens played somewhat. They didn't play well, but they didn't play bad. And at the end of the day, Kansas City just beat them. Um, but before we go into Kansas City versus the 49ers, the Lions,
Mhm.
oh man, I need you to go ahead and just give me your feedback on and your take on what happened with the Lions and the 49ers, because that was a completely different type of ball game.
It was. It was a different type of ball game. Man, what a game! What a game! First of all, it was a great game. Um, Detroit came out with their hair on fire, and it was fun to see. It was fun to watch. I mean, that first half, Brock Purdy, I don't even know who he was. Like, I could not recognize him. Like, this running game was so solid. First of all, we barely saw him because the running game was just doing so well between the two running backs for Detroit. I mean, they were literally running the ball down San Francisco's throat. And I forgot Fred Warner even played for the 49ers defense. That whole first half, wow, what a first half for Detroit. And then the second half was the exact opposite. It was bad calls by Dan Campbell. It was drop passes by the receivers. Jared Goff played a pretty good game. So it wasn't Jared Goff. You know what's funny? The two games, they're not similar to each other. But I feel like Jared Goff had a type of game like you would say maybe Lamar Jackson had, where he played an okay game. It wasn't his fault that they lost. You would probably think it would be their fault, the reason why they lost the game, and it wasn't Lamar's fault, and
Yeah.
it wasn't Goff's fault. You know what I mean? It was just like San Francisco came back out there in the second half, and they were like, "Listen, you ain't gonna do what you did first half," and they didn't. So again, at the same time, Detroit had opportunities there where they could have maybe slowed down the snowball effect that was happening from San Francisco. Kick a field goal when you had an opportunity to take those 3 points. Catch that pass, Robert Woods. Either one of them on either one of those drives, because he had 2 drops in consecutive drives. So those third down conversions makes the outcome maybe a little bit different. So man, I feel bad for Detroit because again, you want to see. I don't know about. I can't speak for everyone, but I know I wanted to see. While I think the 49ers are worthy to go to Super Bowl, they have a really good team. I kind of wanted to see Detroit, man. I've seen 49ers in the Super Bowl before. You ain't never seen Detroit in the Super Bowl. I ain't never seen Detroit in the Super Bowl. So I think America in general wanted to see Detroit in a Super Bowl. That would have been exciting, and I think it would have been a little bit more exciting than this game. This game's going to be good, but selling Detroit and Kansas City and, cars and barbecue and Mahomes and golf. I don't know. I think that would have been this is exciting, but I think that would have been just a little bit sweeter, personally.
Awesome American classic, but I think everybody would have been relatively asleep by halftime.
For
That
what?
would have been a competitive game between the
For what?
Kansas City Chiefs, if that's who we're talking about. If
What
Kansas
wouldn't
City
have,
Chiefs, if the Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl,
yeah?
it would not have gone well. I hate to say
Bro,
it.
what do you do realize the Kansas City Chiefs played the Detroit Lions at the first game of the season, and Detroit Lions won that game in Kansas City. You do realize that. I'm just saying, like, you make it seem
Bro,
like it's just gonna be, oh, no doubt, Kansas City's gonna walk off with it. I don't know. Man.
do you remember the last time we recorded? Because the last time we recorded, you said the same thing. So I should just snatch that clip and put it here again.
I'm just saying. It's a
Kansas City
fact.
was not worried about week 1 in the NFL football season.
Okay.
Detroit
You're right.
probably was, but
Okay.
Kansas City definitely was not.
I would like to think
Fast
that
forward
every professional team is worried about week 1 in the NFL season. It's the first week of the NFL season. You want to win your first game. You do
for
want
the
to win.
sake of
You
for the
can't
sake
convince
of
me that Kansas City was like, oh, you know what? It's just Detroit this week, fellas. It's the first game of the year. It's a new year. You're playing at home, and you let Detroit come in there and beat you. That's not what they wanted, I'm sure.
I'm sure they wanted to win. However, the weight of that loss was insignificant if you got Patrick Mahomes running your team and starting off your season 0-1. He's not shook at all. And
But
I would also say, before I let you get that, I would also say that the Kansas City team that we've seen in week 1 of the NFL season is definitely not the same Kansas City team that we've seen in the last 7 weeks at this point in time.
you can say that about every team in the NFL. That's true. I mean, what you're saying there is that's not saying anything. Of course, the same Detroit team you saw in week 1 is not the same Detroit team you would play in the Super Bowl if you were playing them in the Super Bowl. Of course not. But doesn't change the fact that when we went head to head, all things being equal, we beat you. Being Detroit beat Kansas City. So going into that game, if that was the matchup, there will be no reason why Detroit will be feeling intimidated towards Kansas City. If anything, it should be the other way around. We're like, we've already done this. So bring it. And we did it on your field. So I don't know. I like to also point out the fact that you're saying, oh, Kansas City is like, oh, we got Patrick Mahomes and this is Detroit, big deal. On the flip side of that, I like to think that game had a lot to do with the Detroit Lions season. Coming out first game, thinking that you have the capability of doing this, but then actually doing it. I think that propelled them into the type of season that they had and the reason why they were so successful in the first place. So, yeah, man, don't discount those early games. It counts for something.
Well, I don't take that for granted at all. I mean, I know that had to be a huge game for them. Definitely helped their trajectory and confidence, especially coming in from the offseason and obviously presenting themselves and branding themselves as true grit. They obviously followed up with exactly what they set out to do. But at the end of the day, I don't think if you put them in a Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes' experience, weather's not a factor. It's the last game of the season. If I'm putting my money on anybody to win, I mean it's Patrick Mahomes at period point blank. I don't think Detroit's I don't think they're ready for that smoke, man. And I feel like it would have been a blowout. Nevertheless,
yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. We can
nevertheless,
assume all day. Yeah,
it's clearly irrelevant at this point in time
absolutely.
because they couldn't make it past the San Francisco 49ers. Now,
it's true.
I don't think that's that's not really a slap in the face against Detroit because if anybody else, any other team, minus maybe Philadelphia, Philadelphia, big question mark, Philadelphia. Outside of maybe Philadelphia, San Francisco might be the only team consistent enough to not be intimidated by being down 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points going into the second half and being able to still play their ball game, know that they're a better team and come back and win. Just from X's and O's and just, man versus man or mano y mano and just playing football and coming out with a W. So I don't know. This is a great matchup when it comes to San Francisco and who they are and what they do offensively and defensively. Question marks from game to game every time, just like Kansas City. Question marks from week to week. Some weeks they look great on defense. Some weeks they look very soft on defense. San Francisco included. Offense, same thing for both teams. Great matchup. But I bet against Jordan Mahomes one time in the last 2 years, and that was last week. I don't see it happening, bro. Give that man another ring. What you think?
That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I do think this. I think the game with Detroit definitely gives the 49ers, if not that they needed it, but if they needed reassurance of who they were, that game gave it to them. So if they would have, I think if they would have controlled the whole game going into the game against Kansas City, they would have definitely had a different approach. But because Detroit came out, kind of hit them in the mouth, and they had to make adjustments, I think that's going to help the 49ers get ready for Kansas City because they're probably going to find themselves in a situation just like that again. And if they are, they know that they can do something about it. So that might give 49ers the edge that they need in order to kind of get over this Mahomes heel, if you will, because yeah, I mean, you're right. When you're talking about Jordan Mahomes on a neutral field in a dome, no weather conditions, it's kind of hard for me to choose another quarterback when you got that quarterback on the other side of the field. I don't care if there's no Tyreek Hill. I don't care if Valdez Scantling is dropping passes at the beginning of the game. I don't care if Tony is active or not. If Patrick Mahomes is out there, man, it's kind of hard to go against that dude. I mean, shoot, the Baltimore game, I felt like he was just throwing to Travis Kelce. I mean, Travis Kelce had 11 targets, 11 catches, 11 targets, 100-something yards and a touchdown, man. I mean, so if you just make him throw there, he'll just throw over there. So, listen, until I see it, good luck, 49ers. You know,
Somehow, some way.
I'm low-key rooting for him, though, because it'll be, because of the storyline. That's what I got to be honest. I want to see Patrick get his third one. Let's be honest. That'll be super dope. But the storyline is super dope, too. I can't front, with, the coach being the former coach's son and McCaffrey's dad being on the Broncos, and now McCaffrey's playing for the 49ers, and everyone's, the whole thing. So it's cute. It's nice. But you got to go through Jordan Mahomes, man. Good luck.
I don't want to see the San Francisco 49ers win because the San Francisco 49er fans are more annoying than the actual football team themselves. I just can't stand dealing with that for basically a whole nother year. Oh, I can't. No, sir. I can't accept that.
Fair.
But outside of the annoying fans, sorry, San Francisco fans, love y'all. Don't really love y'all.
Don't sound like you do. Don't sound like you do.
Y'all do a great job of being fans. I'm just not a fan of your fandom. But that's okay. I got my own team to root for. You probably ain't a fan of mine. You know what I mean? It's all good. But I am a fan of what Jordan Mahomes has done on a football field. And hey, bro, this is basically the last week of the season. We're going to start transitioning and talking about other things, other sports, other topics, including basketball. And with that, as a nice segue, I just am very impressed as far as what Jordan Mahomes is doing on the football field. I would have to say, and I would dare to say that I can't remember. I don't know if there's another quarterback that has ever done on a football field from a quarterback standpoint the things that Patrick Mahomes has done, where it looks like he's Larry, Curly, and Mo out there on the football field playing globetrotter football. Hey, we could talk about what Tom Brady did on the field all you want to. It wasn't as flashy. I'm sorry to say it, but you guys would agree with me. He wasn't running in circles. He wasn't throwing back passes. He wasn't throwing no-look passes. They weren't doing the icky shuffle, running it, spinning around the whole team and run out and run a play. And you can't do that with Tom Brady, and you guys know it. What this guy has done on the football field has been sort of amazing. And I'm a fan of that. And especially when you take weapons off of his football team and think you're crippling him, and yet this same team ends up in the Super Bowl and their defense is actually like starting to look like that poster we used to have on the wall on Dove Ridge. You remember that poster we used to have? It was all the Kansas City defense. You remember that poster?
Yeah,
that poster was fresh. Derek Brooks? Derek
Brooks
was up there, and Steve Atwater. Steve Atwater was up there. Man, Christian Okoye was on that chair. What a thing! I think it was it the whole squad or just the defense? I think it was just the defense. I don't know. I can't remember. But I tell you what, defensive wise, we know that the defense was up there, and them boys were what they were. So the defense is starting to look like that. You got an amazing quarterback with, listen. I think what's the running back's name? What's his name? Pacheco?
That's what I want to say. We might be saying it wrong.
It is Pacheco, right?
Pacheco.
If we get it wrong, we got it wrong. Sorry, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Pacheco, though, I think he's second in the league in rushing right now, in rushing yards. Like these,
you right that thing.
One person is literally motivating and moving the entire team, and I haven't seen anything happen like that in football probably ever. And it does give me very much, Steph Curry vibes. We're gonna be talking about basketball soon, and I can't wait till we start having those conversations because I have a lot to say about it. But here's where you're gonna start with me, ladies and gentlemen, is giving off Steph Curry vibes. Somebody who I've never seen do what I've seen them do on a field or in their respective sport. and making it look way too easy. So I'm rooting for Kansas City to go ahead and do it again. And I know that the only way that this guy goes down in history as some of the most amazing things you, I, and everyone watching this podcast has ever seen is if he has enough rings to go along with it. So I'm rooting for you, Patrick. Get it done.
Rightfully so. Yeah, if you had to step back and look at it in a vacuum, there's no reason why Brock Purdy should be walking away with a Super Bowl. It just doesn't. I mean, again, like I said, it sounds nice when you talk about the Christian McCaffrey story, you talk about the Mike Shanahan story, because the coach, and my dad was coaching Denver, he done Broncos and McCaffrey, and that's nice. But Brock Purdy shouldn't walk away with a Super Bowl trophy. He shouldn't. It's Brock Purdy versus Patrick Mahomes. Brock, you shouldn't. You should be a footnote. We should be talking about you in a footnote. Oh, what was the name of the quarterback that made it to the Super Bowl against? You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be Super Bowl champion.
Sorry,
Brock Purdy. Sorry, Brock. Now you can go out and prove us wrong, Brock. We right here. You know we talking junk. You can go out there and prove us wrong, prove the whole world
wrong.
He
looked good last week, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So he did look good. He looked good in the second half. He did look good in the second half. First half, not so much. So we're gonna see, because Chris Jones gonna be on that butt. So I don't know, man.
I forgot about Chris Jones,
bro.
Sorry, Brock.
They got a good defense. It's not like they're gonna just lay down. So it's gonna be. Yeah. But they do things well too. They put people in space. They're gonna make the Kansas City Chiefs tackle them. So if they miss some tackles, that's what 49ers rely on. They rely on you guys poor tackling, missing tackles, getting their guys in space. So you gotta be ready to tackle. So
I'm very inside the lines. I'm very curious to see if the San Francisco 49ers are going to put another nickel corner on Travis Kelce. Bro, I can tell you two things. Travis Kelce, number 22 for the Ravens. Oh, my gosh. That dude had about 8 catches on this dude. Why?
I don't know. And you're right. I'm going to be interested to see what happens, because, Fred Warner's really fast. And I'm not saying they're going to match Fred Warner up on Kelce, but if they were to do so, I don't think Fred would have a problem keeping up with Travis. Fred is very fast, and he's very athletic. So if they can try to neutralize Pat's favorite weapon, it'll be interesting to see what happens then. But then you're hoping that Pacheco's going to just take over, maybe dump it down, do some quick screens. We'll see. It should be a good game, that's for sure.
They have to put a corner on him, and realistically, you got to put your best corner on this guy.
On Travis Kelce? He's playing in the middle of the field.
Listen, I don't care, bro. I'm putting my best corner on him. We're gonna shadow him the whole game. I'm matching him. I'm following you all across the field. And if he's not lined up in the 3-point stance, you got to put your best corner on him. But I only say this for one reason. My brother, for anybody who doesn't know and might be tuning in for the first few times or whatever, I don't even think we covered this. My brother, former cornerback, Polk County, one of Polk County's finest, led Polk County for a good hot minute in interceptions, actually. That man got hands, got speed. He's that guy. But anyway, so I know when I'm talking defense, I'm talking to the right person. But listen, man, I'm not saying put your best corner on them because that's what you should do. I'm saying that Travis Kelce is technically their best wide receiver. Them other guys, you should have some nickel corners that can relatively run with these guys. Rice he's looking good as a rookie. Mm-hmm. He ain't all that yet. You should have a corner who's prepared for him, who could knock a couple balls down and make him, take some chances on some deep balls going bad. But I'm not putting no nickel guy on Travis Kelce to cover him for potentially 10 to 15 to 25 to 35 yards, no matter where he goes. Travis Kelce is going to eat them up. So I'm very curious to see linebacker or corner. You better not go out there and put a linebacker on Travis Kelce. It is over before it gets started.
We got two really good tight ends in this game. I think that's a good point to bring to light as well. Both offenses have 2 really good tight ends. Both teams have really good head coaches. So for any team that's trying to get into this space, there's a formula to put together something nice. Obviously, you definitely need to have these people in place. So but kudos to them. We're gonna see, bro. I don't know, man. It's Kittle might be a problem for Kansas City. I don't know how they're gonna do with him. Mike Shanahan is really good about scheming his players open, and with Christian McCaffrey and Debo and Kittle, it could be a problem. So I don't
Dang, now
know.
that you
It
say
should
that,
be
man,
fun. It should
now
be
that you
fun.
say that,
Yeah.
it's gonna be just as important. It's gonna be just of a problem. Like,
On the other
listen,
side,
whichever team you are, don't put your linebackers on these guys, okay? It's gonna be a problem. First of all, your linebackers are gonna get destroyed. Second
yep.
of all, you're leaving your running backs to go run amok on the rest of your defense, and you got two running backs who will do that to you.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I'm going with put best corner on the tight ends because Ayuk and Debo. I'll take my chances, man. I'm taking my chances with the other
Debo?
corners. Give them some space. Hey, man, give them a little 10-yard ins and outs. All I'm worried about is 3rd and 6 and, a bad matchup because they're going to get that first down. I'd rather take my chances with throw Debo. He might get one. He might get drop 3rd and 12 and overthrown from Purdy from the pressure or, drop from Debo or just a bad throw period. I'll
I
take my
think
chances with it.
that's your best bet, though. Honestly, to get Purdy in a throwing situation, you actually want him to do that. You don't want him to be feeling comfortable, feeling like they could just turn around and hand the ball off to McCaffrey for the rest of the game. So you got to stop the run. So you do want to put Purdy in a situation to where he is throwing, but you don't want him throwing to Debo. So you want to try to figure out how you can guard Debo while you're guarding Kittle. That's how Ayuk is over 1,000 yards for the season, right there, because everybody's looking at Kittle and they're looking at Debo, and then Ayuk streaking down the sideline for a 60-yard touchdown. So, hey, man.
It's a problem. I'd rather take my chances with that in 3rd and 3.
Sure.
Brock Purdy,
I hear
third
you,
and
though.
three with the whole field. I'm betting on him for that. So
Yeah.
I need him throwing deep balls,
That's the
15
best
and
case scenario.
over,
Yeah.
and take
That's
my
the best
chances
case
with it.
scenario for Kansas City. Best case scenario. Well, I don't know what the scenario would be for the 49ers because you put Patrick Mahomes in that situation, that's not good. If you don't put him in that situation, that's not good. So it's
They got to get
just not
sacks.
good. Yeah, they gotta
If they
pressure
don't
him.
get sacks,
They gotta be on him. If they can't
it's a
get
wrap.
to him, yeah, it's a wrap for real. They gotta
100%.
Bosa's gotta be, you gotta be sending, yeah, you gotta be sending exotic blitzes like every play. You gotta
Every play.
confuse him. Have a corner coming sometimes, a linebacker coming sometimes. Let two DNs rush off the same side. You gotta
That's real.
switch it up because this
Yeah,
man,
bro.
geez Louise, good
Pick
stuff.
you apart.
All right, man. So
Yeah,
but
bro.
I think we're both on the record just to make sure that we're not, trying to we're not dodging here. We both are on the record. I think Kansas City for Vic, Kansas City for me. So if the 49ers were to pull this out, we both will be surprised. But kudos to both teams. We're looking forward to the game. And Vic's right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this entire football season. We appreciate you guys. But yeah, we're going to move on to different things. Basketball is popping. We can't wait to start talking basketball. And we got some other things coming up. The Olympics are coming up. We're going to talk about the Olympics coming up as well. That's going to be exciting. And we got some other things going on in the culture that we want to cover. So if there's some things that you guys think we should be covering, let us know in the comments. Just, drop a little comment. Let us know something you guys want to talk about. We're here for that as well. So what else you got?
Before we
get up
go,
here?
Terry Rozier, Miami Heat. We got a point guard now. Man,
Yeah, you do.
Pat Riley does it again. Boy,
Yeah.
I am so excited. I love it. Terry Rozier, my second favorite NBA point guard.
Really?
Period, point blank. Second favorite NBA point guard. I love everything that he brings to the table. Doesn't get enough shine, but he's in the perfect place. Yeah. Now the Heat are struggling. I don't know what the heck they're going through as a team.
Okay. Let me know something because I'm like you talking real, you talking real loud and bold, like you know something I don't know. I'm like, wait a minute, the Heat.
Terry Rozier, good pick. The Heat, I don't know what y'all doing, boy. I need to get y'all lives together over there. Y'all is tripping.
Trash.
I don't know if they got it. Hey, listen, I don't know if they're gonna have enough stake to get through the Milwaukee Bucks. Anyways, that's just a match made in heaven over there. They got everything. They got Dame. They got freaking the Freak. Greek Freak is so humble, bro. Greek Freak is like the best teammate that you could possibly imagine. You would think he's the water boy, the type of attitude he got, but that dude is amazing.
He is great. I love him. He's one of my favorite players for sure. I just love his attitude. I love his work ethic. He's a great guy. Good guy. But
it ain't gonna be, ladies and gentlemen.
It ain't gonna be all Heat the whole time. Y'all know that. So let me know. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe
yeah.
what's
Let's
going on right now.
go. Let's
Here we
go.
go
Magic in the
again.
house. Orlando
For the
got a
record,
better
ladies and
record than the Heat
gentlemen,
right now. We finna
we
take this
don't
thing to
root
the
for the
Eastern
same
Conference
teams, ladies
Finals.
and gentlemen.
Let's go,
So yes,
Magic.
the beef is still on,
Oh, it's
and
real.
yes,
It's real.
the beef
It's
is
real.
still
This go
on.
back to Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady days, baby. It's for real around here. So yeah, man. So we can't wait to get into
Gosh,
basketball. It's gonna be fun. We're looking forward to it. Hey, man, kudos to everyone tuning into the show. We hope you have a great Super Bowl weekend. Hey, man, we're looking forward to the game, just like you guys are. Can't wait to watch it. Vic, what you got?
that's it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate all your support and
Sir.
participation. Like, subscribe, comment. Till next time, we love y'all. Be safe. God bless y'all. Peace.
Peace.